What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? There we go. And chat is up. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Jones. I am a 15-year Pokemon TCG veteran, and I'm coming live to you tonight to the power of the internet just to help you get a little bit better at the game and leave with something that maybe you not have picked up before and maybe never thought about. So, kind of just getting ready for San Juan. I've been play testing pretty vigorously lately, and you know, it's kind of like, I've just been playtesting a lot, and life's just been really busy, and like honestly, like I'm surprised at like how much I've been able to still play. With just like how busy like life has been away from the card game right now. So like here I am just trying to find this. Oh god. My phone's volume is up. So I am playing and working with Dragapult. That's one of the decks I'm thinking about for this stretch of regionals coming up. Got 3 regionals basically in 3 months. So it's gonna be quite the run. 3 regionals, 2 months. I'm still debating on doing Indianapolis and whether I want to do that or not. But I am signed up for San Juan, Houston, and Orlando. Really excited to go back to Houston. Hadn't been to Houston in, man, I'd say like almost 4 years. Been almost 4 years since I've been to Houston. Even longer than that to like play in a tournament. So it's gonna be pretty nice to be able to like go back and be able to run around again, and see what's up, see what's changed, what hasn't changed. I play this Pokepad here. Pokepad's a new card. I can search my deck for a Pokemon that doesn't have a rule box, put it in there. I'm gonna go ahead and just Iono here because I want to spread out my setup, make the board go wide. Alright, that's definitely what we want to see here. Let's get a 3rd Dreepy down. We'll attach this Luminous to the middle one. Then we're gonna Itchy Pollen. Pretty simple. Pretty simple strategy. Good little setup. Pokepad in this deck is just incredibly busted, and I love it. I just think it's a great card in general. So there's that. Lily's Determination. They're item locked, but they'll still be able to draw with Zoroark. They're looking to... maybe they get a Darmaka down and they try to set up the Snipe on the next turn. Maybe that's what they try to do. That's a possibility. It is that boy. I got home and I was like, you know what? I'm too tired to go to bed. I think I'll just hop on and play some cards. Appreciate the sub. But yeah, this is definitely, like I was saying, this is a list that I'm trying to get ready for San Juan. And I like it so far. I should have grabbed the lilies. I should have grabbed that energy. Spread it out. Probably wasn't the best idea either. Popping Dusclops doesn't help me right now either. I'll grab this just in case. And just really at this point, I just itchy pollen. That itchy pollen's too whimsical at this moment. So there's that. Alright, now there's Monkey Dory. That's going to make things a little difficult. They're throwing away all their items, but they set up 3 Zorark. They're good. Opponent's trying to look for Luminous Energy. And the weird thing, though, is we can't get too weird with the Phantom Dives. Because then they can just drop a Reshiram and then eventually just smack us for a bunch of damage. Any day now, Brotendo. Any day now. Oh god, no. So it's either my internet or they've just froze out. Alright, there they go. They finally made their decision. Good on them. Alright, they got the card they wanted. Didn't even... it must have been my internet. It's not what I wanted, but, you know, that's... Yeah, I didn't even see 2 turns. That was... It's got a slight... yeah, I'm using the right mic. I ended up getting distracted from it and then ended up, like... ended up getting distracted from it and... Forgot it was my turn. The echo could have been from like these A40s because it's got like this like remote mic. So yeah, so I think that's what it is too. Not only that, the acoustics in here aren't the best. It's gonna be an eventual upgrade. Alright, gonna play some more Polt. So here's the funny thing. Here's the funny thing about it. Like, I've been seeing an increase of festival lead decks and Team Rocket decks. And not like Team Rocket with like Honchkrow and like Porygon. Like people playing with like Spidops and Mewtwo. Hey, if you want to run a few games, let me know. We can play. This just looks gross. I mean, I do have the advantage of... I don't want to give him more cards. That was terrible. Absolutely terrible. And then everything else I really don't want to get rid of. Okay, I guess we'll just Itchy Pollen and see what happens. Something I'm definitely trying to push more to. It's been trying to make more of an effort, like, to get my TikTok up and going. I think like I'm at 39, 40 followers on there, and I think like the minimum you need to like start streaming on there is like 50. Yeah, this is gonna be gross. Obviously, that's gonna be a boss's order. Oh, it's gonna be Festival Ground. It's gonna be a boss's order off the other one. Oh, I'm a genius. I'm an absolute genius. Crazy. Psh. Yeah, I'm just gonna play Iono here. And see if we can just grab something off of Fez. Otherwise, I'm just gonna have to scoop this. Oh, I got a Stretcher. That's a start. I'll just keep the item lock up. But festivals are honestly not. I think it might actually be worth a try. I don't know how much of a legitimate deck it's going to be, but I think it could be actually something worth looking at. But basically, for those of you guys that don't know, it's a post-rotation deck that I saw somebody had played in a city league, and they had the Festival Lead engine with Mega Charizard. It was the Mega Charizard X with Oricorio. Funniest thing I've ever seen. And the more I thought about it, I was like, you know what? This might just work. So... Yeah, this is done. Yeah, I just couldn't get set up. Yeah, I'm not even gonna sit there and try to play that. Oh, you fucking son of a bitch. Let's see, is this the one? Yeah. Play some Terra Box. This is what everybody's really coming for. Seeing me play Terra Box. Yeah, that's what we know Jones for playing. Alright, that's actually a good start. A real good start. Alright. I'll take that. So there's Fan Rotom. I really don't need to use that Pokepad right away. Alright, we're good. We know what they're already going to do. And I'm just going to end turn. That's what we're going to do. We're just going to see what goes on here. Pokepad, that's probably going to be another Dreepy or Badoo. Really what's going to happen here is like how well are we going to survive? Oh, there's the Badoo. How well are we going to be able to survive their first supporter? If it's a Lily, we're great. But it's not. So it is what it is. Oh, we're fine. We're fine. We're absolutely fine. Totally fine. All right. Yeah, we're cooking. There it goes. Guys, this is why I love this deck. Just too good. Just too good. Let me just grab that. Mouse is being a little weird. And there we go. Bam. Right off the bat. 2-price knockout. Turn 2. So now we gotta see what they're gonna do. Most likely there's probably an Iono in hand, maybe a counter catcher. And we're not out of the woods yet. They still can come back and win this game. We do have a Crispin. Opponent has maybe like one more like one more jamming tower in their hand if they have it. I know some lists play one Watchtower as well. There's the Iono. Alright, so even then, if we don't get anything off this, we can still... Amazing. Amazing. So we're going to have to go Crispin. I think we definitely get a Duskull this turn. No, we got to get the Dreepy. So there's that. Appreciate everybody that's hopping in this evening. I know it's late. I know there's a lot of things you could be doing right now, and hanging out with me, it's an honor. So there's grass. We're going to put the grass there. And I'm just going to get the Dreepy with the energy. There's Clefairy. Too bad I don't have a Crispin. Alright. They could go Blood Moon Ursaluna. I can see him doing that. Yeah, they gotta do something this turn. Or either we get it. We can get him with Teal Mask and Energy Switch. Either Lives being live or they just don't have it. So that's what it probably most likely could be. It's either one of those two. There's the Pokepad. Back to Badoo. Okay. Alright, so they're gonna Itchy Pollen me. Can't use that either. Have a Clefairy. I shouldn't have done that. Wrong energy. Okay. Not gonna be able to get a knockout here. I'll just send those to the bottom. Don't want to do that. I grab this just in case. Alright. And then I'm just going to item lock them, or just retreat lock it. So either I have Turo, a Switch. Yeah, that's what they have to do. They have to have Turo, Switch, Dragapult, Neon Upper or a way to get to Blood Moon. That's going to be... Yeah, that's going to be the big one. Maybe the Ionomy here. Alright, there's a Neon Upper. Or Neo Upper. There's the Dragapult. Now, show me Turo. Or there's Ionomy. Alright. This doesn't hurt too bad, because then it puts them in a spot where they can't... Well, they item lock us, but then, like, they can't really use Dust Claps. But we're not in the best of spots either, because weren't able to get Mew out. This wouldn't hurt so bad if I didn't have Mew. Alright, this guy's just taking a dump on us right now. We're gonna go for it. Triple stab. Oh my god. Last one, we got it. Alrighty. So now this puts them in a funny spot where they can't really... They can get Hawlucha, and they Hawlucha then Hoot Hoot. Okay. Alrighty. There it is. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and flip the script first. Alright. I think we got it. Yeah, we should have it here. Why's my mouse being weird? So there's that. There we go. Got it. Whew, that was a very good game. It's definitely a very good game. wish the board setup would have been a little bit better to my liking, but it is what it is at this point. Tiers 87, 88, and 89 just don't exist. Cool. Let's see what they got. If it'll load. If it'll load. There it goes. Well, that's not bad. This Mighty N is actually pretty neat. Halucha. Spectreer. One of these days I'm going to sit down and I'm going to try that out in Gardevoir. See what comes of it. And then there's the Pokepad at the bottom. Actually got some of my first Pokepads in a day. That was pretty exciting. And pretty excited to be able to finally put those in decks and start getting ready. The ironic part about it is there's still League Cups I've got coming up this weekend and the next that are in the format that it is now. So, in the Seattle format. So, there's that. If anybody in the chat's going to Seattle, let me know. I'd love to hear that. Love to hear what your thoughts on what you're going to play. Love to hear you guys' thoughts on the European results and how all that played out. You know, that was normally I don't really watch a lot of the streams. I'll just kind of like thumb through articles and I'll like look through the results a lot of the times. But that was actually the that was like the first one in a hot minute that I actually sat and watched. Pretty intently, so yeah, watched it. Even woke up early for it to start. What is up with this mouse? There's that. We're either playing the mirror match or playing the mirror match or playing Raging Bolt. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get a third Hoot Hoot. We're going to get Fan Rotom and we're going to wait and see what they have. Because it's either Bolt or it's Terrabox. Okay, it's neither. It's Joltik Box. I'm not mad about that. I'm not too mad. Okay, that actually is not too bad. Alright, we gotta mess this guy up. Alright. We're gonna need a lot here. Let's just go in and Pokepad. Look at everything. Because if I can chase down that Iron Hands with Koraidon, we're good. Yeah, we don't have access to Earthen Vessel. And my internet froze. Love that. So basically what the strategy would be here then would be to grab, is we want to grab Iron Hands, but the problem is my internet froze. The game froze. So then what happens in this situation? Any day now. I'm never going to get out of 1500 ELO with this. Like that, and making the mistake of trying to play test during work. I swear, like, I'd be in the 1600s or something like that. Like, if I if I could just, like, play, like, at reasonable times and with functioning internet. So, there is that. But again, so like I was saying, this would be the play. We've got the Koraidon, we've got the Fighting Energy, we've got the Crystal. We just don't have a reliable way to knock this guy out. And that's the problem. Because if I could, in a perfect situation, chase down this Iron Hands and knock it out, he's gutted. So, alright, you know what? They're going to get a free win. Congrats, guys. There's that Noctowl, though. Yeah, that was kind of crazy. Any day now, live. I think, like, in the meantime, what I'll do is I'll just sit here and I'll pull some lists that I actually was pretty impressed with from UIC. Maybe I uploaded it, I'm not entirely sure. Edwin Mesman's list wasn't really too, like, life-altering. Like, it was pretty par for the course, you know, and a lot of times like that's fine and dandy. Played the Toad Scroll, shore up the Goldango matchup, and, you know, definitely came in handy in the finals. The one that, like, really impressed me as far as, like, the Mega Absol was the 9th place deck. Oh yeah, dude was just wasting time. Yeah, two Mega Kingscon handheld fan and just using Wally. That's crazy. The worst troll deck ever. That I feel bad for you there, Dash. I definitely feel bad for you. All right, still waiting on a match. If any of you guys want to jump in a game, drop your usernames on live and get a game going that way. There's that. But no, it was the. Let's see if it worked. Because I tried copying this one list. Yeah, there it is. Yeah. So this one is actually pretty neat. So it has Genesect, which is really great. You attach a tool, it shuts off the ace specs, which is pretty great. So I really like that. Being able to like slow down people like we're going first, or stopping that attach of the sparkling crystal or the neo upper. And what's cool about this one that I like a lot more than I like about others is it still has the two Eviltal. So what it makes for it is it makes it more you want to yeah, I don't want to play with you anymore. That's funny. But yeah, like I was saying, like this kind of makes it where it's more focused on using clutch and then just clutching till like you get the board set up and you get an ideal scenario for a knockout. One of these is great. One town store is great. All right, so this is what sealed the deal for me here with this. So I was watching Lucas Ing's match and I saw him play down. I saw Erica's invitation in his hand in the match I was watching. I was like, yo, that's actually kind of cool. So what Erica's going to do is you're going to show a hand, opponent's going to put a basic in the hand onto the bench, and if I put a Pokemon on the bench this way, switch that Pokemon to the active spot. So basically what we're trying to do is we're putting things that we don't want in that we don't want on the field in active spot, or just things that could be liabilities, and we just get behind them like a bear. Like you put a bear up in like the early and mid game and no way to accelerate energy to it. Yeah. And then you have obviously like Latias. And if you don't have, and if your opponent's not playing stuff like Penny or Turo, you just get stuck. One Ice Cream. I wish there was a little bit more room for that, but could play that. So this is something that like I'm going to play around with a little bit more. I'm not going to play around with it right now just because I just don't like playing the Mega Absol decks on live. It's a preference. Yeah. So that's another spicy little thing here. I'm going to play Icebox. And this is one that I like. This is another one I like too. If you want to talk about like not wanting to play with anybody anymore, this one's pretty much just about it. It's the Badoo Frostlass deck, but what it does is it has a lot of different like guys you can put in the active spot, like Iron Hands, Tinglu. No, I don't love Mudkips, despite the meme. Although I feel like with this deck, though, I would want to go first. There's at least a functionable deck. Yeah. Alright, this is beautiful. I'm just going to leave this. I wonder if they're playing Dusknoir Lopunny. They're not! So this is either Ceruledge or it's Armarouge. Which I did see there was an Armarouge Ho-Oh deck that actually made day 2 in London. Okay, yeah, so it's Cerule Edge. Get the Joker sleeves. You know, I'd probably in the shop or somewhere like in the cosmetics. Like you can buy a lot of them. I think that's where you can get. But yeah, you're sitting there worrying about the Lopunny sleeves. Like, have you noticed mine? Like, mine are super rare. Can't get those much of anywhere. And you're sitting there worried about some generic, looks like a community college graphic design project. Yeah, but no, like I said, I think you get them. Like you can buy them like when you're like customizing like your deck sleeves and everything. I think you can buy them from there. You got your priorities. You clearly do. Clearly you have your priorities, and I have mine. Well, this is just cool. Like they've just herped their derp all over the place. Legacy energy right off the bat. Cool. Alrighty. My turn. Don't want to start bear anytime soon. I've got a supporter, so I don't need a Tatsu down. Iron Hands is kind of dead. Mega Frostlass is probably going to be what we're going to have to do. Devo's an option. No, Devo's not really much of an option. I'm going to have to go. See, that's the thing, dude. It's like, do I want to shut down... Well, I'm going to have to shut down items is what I'm going to have to do. That's what it comes down to, is we got to shut down items. Monk's too important. Yeah, they'll get a card, but we don't want them... We don't want them getting set up. I'm just going to roll with that right now. It's our first turn, so we can't evolve. Devo is going to be big. So everybody's got 60. I think if anything, I could just go... Oh, wow, Jamming Tower. Wow, you're so unique. Carmine. Yeah, this guy we're going to have to just slam into. Or either devolve it. Alright, so that paid off. I guess we'll go double monk. Yeah, we're gonna go double monk. Attach this. I'm gonna keep the Devo for later. See 8 cards. Alright. Alright, she's 1 energy, so we're good on that. Although the Prism energy is not what I want to see. Hold on to that. I'm just going to keep itchy palling. But I'm not going to commit to the Mega Frostlass until I see them play down like something other than Squawkabilly. Because Squawkabilly, like, I can pretty much just handle at this point. Oh, wow, they conceded. All right. Yeah, no, I don't want to put anything down too early. Like, had they not scooped, what I would have done is I just would have committed to that one prizer board, and then, um, that turn I was just going to go for a normal Frostlass. So then we could have knocked out the Charge Cadet through Adrenabrain, and that would have got around the Legacy Energy. So then that way we would have still been able to take a knockout and take a prize. So there is. So that would be kind of a cool way with that too. Hmm. No, I don't think I. Although that's an interesting thing though too. I feel like with this deck though, like maybe I don't want to go. I'm just gonna start the do. We're gonna see what they have. All right, it's Dango. Oh yeah, we're so Ionoing these guys. Oh man, yeah, we're so Ionoing them. We're so Ionoing them. Nope. Just go one. All right. So now they get in a situation where they can't Genesect, but they also can't do whatchamacallit. They can't coin bonus. But like sure as heck can do that. Gotta hold on to that luminous energy. Cute. That's cute. I can respect it. Like I'm playing the TM Evo on my Dango deck right now, so it makes sense. I'm just gonna go ahead and Lily first. There we go. Now what's cute though is like this actually turns off their abilities, so it almost seems in a way it's kind of counterproductive. A luminous and a prism. So luminous can be attached to anything. Prism can only be attached to basics. And you get the effect of like one of any color. Whereas like if I attach a prism to like an evolved Pokemon, it's just going to count as a colorless energy. And if I attach a luminous, I can attach it to an evolved Pokemon. It can count as anything, but it only counts as one. And then what ends up happening is what ends up happening then is kind of like we see here. It just lost my train of thought. Basically, what happens then is you, if you attach a luminous to an evolved Pokemon, it counts as one of any color, but you can't attach another special energy to it, or it loses its effect. Basically, Prism, the TLDR, Prisms only go in basics, and luminous can go on anything, but there's a catch. We can use Mega Frostlass if we have to. So close. That's okay though, because we'll get them back. So now they gotta try to draw out of this. So there's another Dango. They're gonna try to draw out of this, maybe check down into the Iron Hands. Which granted, this Dango does put them in a weird spot because of how much it is. And really, now that I think about it, like I kind of actually prefer the Skull Dango going down like in between turns if it stays on the board, as opposed to if I would have been able to knock it out right then and there. So I don't hate it. But also at the same time too, like I'm not a big fan of this board position that I'm in. So that's going to be the other one. He's going to push my face in. And then we've got to try to come up with something. That's what I'm going to have to do here. I'm going to have to push into something. Stretcher, Vessel. That was the other thing I was going to say is Vessel. Dude is really trying to, like, dig through it. Alright. Alright, so that gets that in between turns. I think just the batteries on this mouse is going bad. Alright. I'm gonna buddy poppin'. For starters. Lily's gonna give us the best chance. And we miss. Definitely miss. Yeah, I think this turn I've got to, this turn I've gotta, let's get 20 on it. This has got 20 on it. Yeah, this turn I've got to Adrenaline Brain. I've got a Itchy Paw on this turn. Big Lou. Tatsugiri can get us in trouble though. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna have to do. Just gonna have to like item lock him and just hope for the best at this point. And if they don't get a knockout, then what's up happening is now we're gonna have to go the route with Mega Frostlass, which is okay, but I really don't want to put him in like the moment I break this item lock, there's just gonna be the floodgate. Which then subsequently it's like the question of like, alright, just keep Iono him until like he pulls his hair out, which is very probable. 12 card hand. They got a. Alright, there's that. Okay, so now this puts us in a really interesting situation. No, they just had to bump one just to do it. Okay, we're actually kind of in a good spot. Still want 6 cards. Alright, there we go. Alright, we'll see what they do here. Alright, this one's going to come down. It's going to be pretty close. Take the 2. So we got Stretcher, we get Devo. Not ideal. Hmm. Oh, okay. Clever. Hmm. I just wish I had. Well, let's see. I think. I think. Yeah. You know what? Yeah. So I think what we're gonna do here is we're gonna go promote the Monkey Dory with a dark energy. Adrenabrain the 10 damage there. And then I'm going to put down Blood Moon Ursaluna, retreat, use Night Stretcher to get the dark energy back, and then also use Arvin to go grab our last Frostlass, and then pass. Oh, Jesus. And then in between turns, knock out this Goldango. And he used the Turo early, so now that really limits what he can do. And I'd be surprised, though, if he played like Prime Catcher or something. Or even a Counter Catcher. I think that would be also really cool, too. Because then if he like Counter Catchers or Prime Catchers down... Well, he doesn't have a balloon, so he can't really do anything there. No, they could always just attach to... Well, they attach there, so... Yeah, he's kind of stuck. Nice. Alright, here we go. Big turn, big turn. So we're going to bring this guy up. Let's tide. Let's see what we got. Can we pull it off? Yep, we can pull it off. Yeah, and I can grab it with the pokey pad. Put the bear down. Just gonna throw that in there. There's the basic. And then we get him that way in between turns. And that is what we call big brained, ladies and gentlemen. Big brain plays. So there's two of those. Alright, so we never had access to Mega Frostlass, but that's that. Very calculated. And that's why you always want to try to think several moves ahead. Always want to think several moves ahead. Dang. Alright, cool. So I'm going to go ahead and call it a night. It is midnight, and I still need to get some sleep, because I have a grown-up job. Anyways, I'm going to stream locals tomorrow night, so we'll have that up for everybody. But appreciate everybody.